welcome to Pastimes. We continue our coverage of the Space Coast Blast this evening. Their head coach, Pete Jervis, and CJ Carlson join us this evening. It's a pleasure to have these guys with us as we talk hockey on Pastimes. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's talk about how you guys got to Brevard County. Pete, we'll start with you, and CJ we'll move down the line, but let's tell us, the folks, a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the Space Coast Blast and how you ended up in Brevard County.
Well, I was playing professionally up in Jacksonville and had retired for a year or two and got a phone call one day, and the gentleman asked me if I'd like to start my own team, and I jumped at the opportunity, and Space Coast was available. Mm-hmm. And we came down, took a look at the rink, talked with some of the local youth hockey parents, found out there was a big following, and decided that this was the place that we were going to put our team.
There are a lot of pieces that have to fall together before something like this happens, and you evidently felt that all those pieces were in place or were going to be in place with the Iceplex going in and the youth hockey and the following from a lot of transplanted Northerners or Yankees, whatever you want to call us, right, down here for hockey.
Yeah, we looked at that, and one of the major considerations that we had was the Youth Hockey Association. Was it building? Was it growing? And we thought that it was, and that's where a lot of our fans come from, a lot of support, a lot of our billet families, host families for the players that live with them. That's where the base has to be, and that's where we've been growing that. We've been out with the kids, helping them out, running clinics, running camps. And that's where our fan support's been, so that is a big consideration that we took.
CJ, I know you're from Marquette, Michigan, the UP.
Yes.
Big hockey there for high school, and that was probably your experience pre-Space Coast Blast. What brought you down here?
Actually, I heard of a tryout near the Lansing area, and Pete was running, so I decided to take a look. What better would you want to play hockey in Florida? So I decided to go and try out, and I had connections with Pete, and just
things worked out.
Things worked out.
This is the intriguing thing. Every guy, your two other players that we've had on the show, just love the fact that they can play hockey and then during the day go out and golf or surf or whatever. Big draw for a lot of the players, you think?
Huge draw, huge draw. Right now, there's probably 3 feet in northern Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, where some of these guys come from. They absolutely love the sun.
What has the reaction been? I know you have to do a lot in the area. You're doing clinics, you're getting out with youth hockey. To get that fan basis built, obviously you guys are on the right road. I think your fan base is there, and now it is starting to build. But that had to be a conscious effort to get that started and to keep it rolling. It
really did. And we started with the youth program, and we started with their parents and the kids. And now we're starting to branch out. We've got a radio station that does a lot of promotions for us. We had a promotion with them where everybody came in, just had their numbers on them or said the name, and they got in free. And that's another way that we hope to get them in the door once. We know if we get them in the door once, a live hockey game, there's nothing like it.
And it's rare to be able to get you guys here on a Thursday. Normally you play your home games every Thursday. What's that been like? I know you've been traveling not as far as you did when you went to Iowa State, probably more than you've ever traveled before as far as playing hockey. What's that whole schedule worked out for you? How's it worked out?
No, it's actually been really nice. It's not too bad. Most of the teams are here in Florida. In fact, all of them are now that Alabama had some financial difficulties.
That was a big rivalry for you guys, unfortunately. Well, fortunately,
yeah, it was. It was a real real letdown to see that team fold. But it's something, it's a business. They couldn't continue to run the business, so they shut it down for this year. There will be a team there next year. There will also be a team probably in Knoxville, Tennessee, and somewhere else in Tennessee. So
this is why we have you on a Thursday night.
Yes.
That's tough, and I was unaware of that, and that's bad. Well, it's bad, but in one sense it's good because hopefully the folks that come in the next time around we'll get it going. How does that make you feel, though, CJ? I want to get you in on this. It's kind of tough. You've got a really good rivalry with a team that every time you guys go back and forth, you really do go back and forth, and all of a sudden those guys aren't there anymore.
Right. Alabama's been our main competition mainly throughout the first half of the season, and it's kind of tough. Really coming down to Florida, we weren't really sure what to expect as far as competition goes. So we were really surprised, and it was kind of a letdown, like Pete said, to lose a team like Alabama, but it kind of makes the league a little more competitive now that those players go to other teams in the league. So, like, we just picked up a new forward, so.
Which would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Pete and CJ, a lot of folks might not be familiar with the makeup of the league. They might say, well, you've got to be affiliated with an NHL team, an AHL team, an IHL team. What is the makeup? Now, this league, the guys are here, mostly junior players. Let's talk a little bit about why they're here, where they're headed, where they can go.
Well, they are all junior or current junior or former junior players. They are ages 21 through 17, 18, I think our youngest player is. But that's very unique for a junior player to play at 21. That's something that our league does a little bit differently. Our league took a look and we really found a missing link, I guess you could say, in junior hockey, where at 20, these guys are done. If they haven't made the pros, haven't been drafted, haven't gone to college, their careers are over. And if you look at a lot of the minor professional hockey teams, at their average age is 26, 27. So at 20, their careers weren't over. We wanted to give them that extra year to develop. And our league does have some contacts with some colleges, but we're kind of gearing ourselves towards the minor professional route and pushing these guys up towards the minor pros. We've had one guy who made
some success doing this.
Yeah, one guy made the minor pros in San Antonio, now traded to Fort Worth. We also had 2 other guys with tryouts in the minor pros. So it's been successful. And in fact, next year we have a league meeting coming up here in the very near future, and it's already been proposed that we need to submit a proposal to the East Coast Hockey League, becoming affiliated with them.
Pretty decent.
Being farm teams for them.
Good, that's a very good move.
Yeah.
CJ, how do you fit into this equation? Ultimately, it would be nice to play professional hockey. You mentioned something before the show, though. You're looking to perhaps take a collegiate route out of this experience.
Ever since I was a kid, it's been a dream to play professional hockey. But like Pete said, mainly the guys' ages range from 26 on up for professional. So I think going to college would give me that extra 4 years of building ground as far as hockey goes. So I'm hoping to send out my resume, maybe get a quick look at from the colleges. So.
Well, you'll have some tape and some stat sheets and some important things to send out to some guys, won't you?
I hope to.
We're going to take a quick break here on Pasttimes. When we come back, we'll show you guys some video of these guys in action for a practice, and we'll do that here in a little bit. Mercy, I'm not hearing you right now, so let's take a quick break here on Pasttimes. When we come back, we'll talk more with the Space Coast Blast right after this.
Years of dedication don't matter. The months of hard work fade away. For all the sparring, all the bag work, all the time spent training, the moment has finally arrived. It's time to put it all on the line.
It's showtime! And here's who's fighting next on Showtime, America's #1 boxing network.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of America have a challenge.
A super challenge.
We need your help. We need your time.
It starts with 1 kid.
1 hour.
$1.
1 call.
It starts with 1 person.
And you're it. Join the Goodwill Games and the Super Station. Take on the Super Challenge for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Call 1-800-854-CLUB. Find out what you can do. You've got to call this number to keep kids like us off the streets and out of trouble.
So we can keep playing.
And welcome back to the program. Pete Jervis from the Space Coast Blast, along with CJ Carlson, also from the Blast, join us this evening here on Time Warner Communications. Let's talk a little bit about the makeup of the team. We were talking about it during that last break. Pretty much a hand-picked team for you, which is a luxury from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, it was my team from the beginning. I knew 3/4 of the team probably before training camp even started. There were 1 or 2 surprises who really came in and surprised us and made the squad. But for the most part, throughout the summer, I spent probably 8 hours at work at a normal job, banking job, and Probably from 5:30 till about 2, 3 in the morning. I spent recruiting, phone calls, and on the internet. I went out and did some recruiting in different cities. Found CJ and one of our other forwards, Emery, in Michigan, and yeah, I had my team pretty well down.
You had him, Emery Likens. Did you play with Emery?
Actually, I've played with Emery ever since I was probably in middle school. We've been on the same team, except for last year, the last 4 or 5 years now. So I'm pretty good friends with him off the ice, too.
Pretty good. Now, you hooked up with Coach Jervis at the Lansing tryout. Did Emery hook up at the same time?
Yeah.
Got 2 out of 1 there. That's a pretty good deal.
That was a real good deal. In fact, I told Emery, I saw his size, 6'2", 220, and I told him I knew he could play in our league. I knew he'd be good in our league. I said about CJ though. I said the kid's a little small. We'll see what he ends up doing, and we got him in the right position.
He's done well for you, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think him and I have talked throughout the year, and he's told me what role his coach wanted him to play last year, and that's not CJ's role, to be out there as a grinder. You've got to get him on a line where he's got some line mates who can score, and he can pass to, and he can score himself, and you put him on a finesse line instead of.
You're not going to want to send him down into a corner and.
No.
That's what was happening to you last place, send you down into a corner and fighting it out.
I really had to work for my position physical-wise, and that's what the coach was asking. But on the same token, it is part of my job, and I just felt I had more success playing the more finesse role.
The makeup of the team. I talked to the guys that were here before, BJ and George. BJ seems to like to be the guy that you send down in the corner and go after some guys.
BJ likes the physical aspect of the game, yes, definitely. George, he's another one. He looks small, but man, for some reason he's got a temper, and somebody hits him or rubs him in the wrong way, and George is gone. He loses his head quite a bit. He's had a couple run-ins with our league commissioner because of it, but he does his job. He does it well, and he's got a definite role on our team.
We were looking down the list when the guys were here, and I don't remember the name, but there was someone who spent an awful lot of time in the penalty box.
That would probably be our tough guy, Rory.
There you go.
He spends quite a bit of time. He's out there to protect guys. If somebody does something wrong to one of our star players,
they jumped right away to his defense. And in all honesty, we're just giving him a hard time here. But let's talk about the makeup of this team. When you have finesse players, and obviously you need a good complement to have these guys work together as a team, to have good chemistry on the ice and off the ice as well. Obviously, something that was in your mind when you were picking this team, and something that was in your mind when you were trying out for the team, probably a little bit further back in yours than yours, but are you pleasantly surprised with how this mix has come out?
I really am. They've come together on and off the ice extremely well. I couldn't have asked for a better bunch of guys. They know that everybody knows their role on the team, which is very important. They know if they're a finesse player, they play the finesse game. And we've kind of built all of our lines around that. We've kind of, each line has 2 real good finesse players, and then they have one guy who's out there to protect the finesse players. But that person just can't protect. He's got to be able to support and contribute to that line.
Goals. Let's talk, CJ, first to you. Obviously, you had some personal goals coming into this. The big one, getting through the tryout and becoming a member of the team, and now you're here as a member. How are you doing as far as how you feel you're progressing? Then I want to ask Coach Jervis how he thinks you're progressing and how he's progressing. It's not a quiz, but how do you feel about your play right now?
I felt I've done really well as far as coming aboard on this Space Coast Blast, and I've earned my way into the lineup, and as far as points go, I've really met my goals that I've set personal-wise, but also I became the team captain, which I've kind of, through my play, I like to lead the team, and as far as that goes. But personal goals as far as going to college and the next minor pro level mainly leads into Pete's job helping me out. So it's still a little bit down the road yet. We'll find out.
Pretty amazing to have such a young player end up being your captain.
Yeah, it's He led by example. He earned his spot as captain. He at the beginning of the year, he didn't really say a whole lot, so we were a little hesitant when our captain did leave to throw him into that, but he led by example, and he's learning the role of captain. He's learning to speak up now, learning to voice his opinion, and everybody follows it. That's why we made him captain. They see what he does on the ice, and they want to follow what he does.
It means a little bit more now when you actually say something. I mean, if you overuse stuff and you overtalk sometimes, it's very easy to say, he just doesn't know what he's talking about. But it's kind of nice to have that respect that develops over X number of weeks, X number of games.
Definitely. It really helps out as far as bonding with our players and trying to make the perfect team. So,
for yourself, goals. Obviously, you wanted to have this team come together and play well, and they are succeeding in that aspect. Other things, though, that you felt coming into this inaugural season that you needed to do as a coach, as things that your team needed to do?
Well, this is my first year at this level of coaching, and I've been learning myself. There's times when I've taken a line off the ice in overtime, and 30 seconds later we get scored on, and you learn them. You learn those things, and I think I'm coming along. I'm learning how to run the practices, learning how to control the team. All superstars, basically. I mean, we're leading the league in every category, and future, I think we've got to look towards the minor pros and eventually the AHL, the IHL, the NHL. That's a goal that I think every one of my kids should have to want to play at that level.
And yourself?
And that's something that I've set for myself, and it's down the road. It's something I've still got a lot of learning to do, and these guys help me out as much as they can.
I want to talk a little bit about the competition for you guys in this league. I mean, you do dominate in this league, and that's a good thing for you. But yet, when we were talking with BJ and George, it was like you had just, I believe, lost to Alabama, and it was kind of a wake-up call. Now with Alabama gone from this league, is there someone else that really has taken over the role that they can surprise you? I mean, especially if you go on the road, someone that makes you guys sit up and say, hey, even though we're in this position, we really need to not be very relaxed when we come into a game. CJ?
Yeah, the past few months, coming out of Christmas, the Jacksonville team has been really working hard, and they're starting to come around. It's a matter of 2 or 3 points right now for first place, so they're a really competitive team too. So.
Yeah, Jacksonville is the team right now that is giving us fits, and they're a small team. They come out and work. They come out and work as a team. They're not as talented, but they're more of a team right now than we are. We're still, I got 5 new guys now after break, and we're still working together and trying to get everybody together and to come together and play together.
To find the balance on those lines.
Yeah, well, right now, really, we've got 20 superstars out there, and they want to show everybody what they can do by themselves instead of contributing to the team.
It seemed that you may have had some of that feeling before the Christmas break, but it seemed a little, at least when the guys were here, they were saying, well, we've got this. Was that 20 superstar feeling there pre-Christmas break, or has it been there more post-Christmas break? What do you think?
I think it's post-Christmas break. Pre-Christmas break, I think we're really, even though there were a lot of egos and a lot of talent, they played as a team. They came to each other's defenses when they needed to, and they helped each other out when they needed to. But now it's some of the guys are looking towards me, and we've got to get back to the team.
CJ, how do you step into this and say, yeah, we do need to step back, guys? What's your role here?
I kind of wish there wasn't a Christmas break because of the way we were bonding so well before, and coming back with the new guys and everybody kind of got astray a little bit. So I can understand the me part as far as the end of the season going on to the pros. Everybody wants to make it. So you just kind of got to tell them, we're a team. You got to remind them what we're here for.
We're going to take another quick break here on Pastimes as we go into the B-roll. But let's take a quick break here, Mercy, if we get a chance, and come back and talk to these guys and talk more about the Space Coast Blast here as their inaugural season winds down. Boy, we're getting closer and closer, but you've got playoffs and you can go quite a ways here. So we'll do that and more when we come back on Time Warner Communications.
chemicals and they blow the waste away. Down the pipes and through the ground they go each and every day. And the water keep on moving under cities, under streets. The river flow back to the sea, back into the chain. We cannot survive without it. Cool, clear water.
And welcome back to Pasttimes Space Coast Blast. Pete Jervis, their head coach, and CJ Carlson, their captain, with us this evening. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. To me, it's so interesting thinking back when the NHL used to get into warm weather climates and it just never seemed to work. That this, in the past few years, have been more and more professional teams that have shown up in the South, and it really just seems to start to build it. And there are lots of factors for it, but it's really neat to see a team come in their first year and have such success, especially in our area. Let's talk about some of the youth programs, some of the things you do. I know you practice really late. You guys are Nighthawks like I am. You guys are on the ice at 11 o'clock at night, maybe midnight practicing. But let's talk about some of the things as a team you guys are doing off the ice with the community as well as on the ice with the community.
The first thing that we're doing is every Tuesday and Thursday there is a session at the Iceplex called Stick and Puck. At that we generally have 3 to 4 guys out there. When there are kids out there, sometimes it's during school hours, but when anybody shows up, our guys are out there helping out, showing them what to do and what not to do, just giving lessons. And the Iceplex is nice enough to let our guys out there for free to help these kids out. We've done a camp for the kids over the Christmas break, 3-day camp, 3-day clinic where I came out and we showed them everything that we possibly could in 3 days.
It's a lot.
Yeah, well, it was a good camp. It was great. We had about 50 kids, I believe, which really wasn't too bad.
Camp.
Yeah, the response from the community, especially the youth hockey, has been incredible. We in fact have a junior blast team. And I believe that all of the travel teams in Rockledge will be called the Junior Blast next year.
Cool.
So yes, that was really exciting.
That's good. CJ, what's it like being on the teaching end? You probably have in the past with younger players, but what's it like with youth hockey players and getting out on the ice with these guys? What's that experience like?
Well, it's great just to deal with the kids and maybe, rub a little something off onto them that I know might help them in the long run. It's a really great feeling, actually. And just to go out and be a part of their game, too. I know it's a little something in their eyes, so just as long as I can help them a little bit and learn to enjoy the game is the main thing.
How much of that did you have when you were, not that you're an old player, but when you were in youth hockey, how much of that did you have?
Actually, I had quite a bit, and along with my family pushing me, and I attended a lot of hockey camps as a youngster, so it really does pay off in the long run as far as learning the little tricks of the trade.
Is there a memory that sticks out from one of those encounters, say at a camp with someone who took some time, a professional player who took some time to show you something and spent some time with you? Is there something that sticks out in your mind?
Actually, going to the Minnesota hockey camp, and it was the training ground for the San Jose Sharks. Mm-hmm. So just to be there and maybe see a few of the guys and get to talk to them was a big highlight in my eyes. So
pretty decent. For yourself, Pete, did you ever have an experience like that, or is it something that you didn't get a chance to participate in and you really wanted to have the ability to bring that experience to youth hockey, or what was the situation for yourself?
I don't know if I had much of an influence from professional teams. My influence really came from my brother. He's 4 years older than me, and I always wanted to be as good as him, and or better than him. And that's where my real memories lie.
Sibling rivalry is a strong motivator, isn't it?
It's unbelievable to have to sit there and year after year watch your brother come home with a trophy, and you're just going, oh man,
and
not again.
And you know that when you get into the high school and he's 4 years older, it's always going to be, well, Pete's brother did this, and this.
It was unbelievable because we actually played against each other in high school when he was a senior and I was a freshman. And he tells me a story. He got up in the locker room one day and said, "We will not lose to my brother." So that was.
So did you, not to put the spotlight on you and put you on the hot seat, but how many records of your brothers or good marks of his did you knock over?
I started knocking them over in 10th grade when I started capturing the Goalie of the Year award.
Pretty decent.
And I started. That's when it really started, and he went the education route. Graduated #1 in his class from Syracuse, and I'm not sure I wouldn't trade places with him right now. It's a pretty nice thing to do.
Yeah, he's done well. You both have done well. Goals and future things that you would like to involve the community with. I know the camps will continue. Getting out and obviously getting more fans involved with you guys will continue. But let's talk a little bit about some things. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but obviously you have to have some things in mind that you would like to continue here and build upon.
Our first thing I think that we're going to get going is we're going to hold a charity golf tournament towards the end of this year. We haven't decided which charity we're going to go with yet, but we're still looking into that. We did a really nice benefit earlier this year for a woman whose kids were stricken with, well, I wish I remember that disease, but one of the kids was dying, 2 others had just gotten the disease. She could not work. She was in a car accident, and we helped her out, and I'd like to see us do a little bit more of that. I'd like to see us get into the hospitals a little bit. And that comes with name recognition. You call up 20 people, you say, who's the Space Coast Blast? They probably wouldn't know in this area. We need to get a little bit bigger recognition from everywhere. The paper, the radios. We've got to be a big deal around here, and that's something.
And you will as you continue. And unfortunately, it's all tied into as you continue to do well. But you are doing well,
right?
And that hopefully gets you over some of those hurdles, makes the road a little bit easier for you to travel down, and gets a few more people out there. You guys have done an awful lot in your first year involving yourselves with benefits, and you should be commended. And I know your players have enjoyed, and I guess I should ask you, we're about a minute here before the show is over, but the best experience for you so far this year, CJ, has been what? Has it been the family you're staying with? Has it been just the fan response? What's it been?
I think it's been a little bit of everything. Being able to play with my line mates as far as Jason Withers and BJ Benjamin, and meeting a bunch of the guys, and everybody's like family, and it's really nice to put all into one, and it's a great time in my life right now. So
it's a real nice way to develop that whole thing with the community, and you guys are definitely on the road to developing a very strong relationship here in Brevard.
Yeah, we really are. We're looking forward to the future here.
Super. We appreciate you being here tonight. Continued success. We'll get you on one of these nights, and we'll hopefully get you here for a live night, and we can have some folks give you some calls and ask you guys, and then we can also let the team give you guys some calls too, and you can go back and forth. That's it for this edition of Pastimes. We'll see you next week with another show right here on Time Warner Communications. Until then, have a good one.